Cow.
I like that one.
You know
That's not gonna save you, but end of the world, woo.
I'm your host, Jimmy Butler, here with my other host, Tommy Franco, and here with my other host, James Dean III.
Tommy Franco, is that what you said?
Yeah.
And James Dean III.
And Jimmy Butler.
All right.
Could you imagine if Jimmy Butler hosted a fucking show like this?
Couch.
With Tommy Franco
And
James Dean III.
All right, here we go. Top 10 dumbest lottery winners.
I mean, we're talking the stupidest.
All right, so how fast could you spend $100 million? Like, if you were just being stupid and you were like, fuck it, let's do it. How fast do you think you could? Like, on dumb shit. Obviously, you could go buy $100 million property and be like, well, whatever. But that's not as dumb.
Like,
I'm talking about
just like
things.
random
Yeah.
non-investments.
Yeah.
Depreciating assets.
How you about to start with the couch? Depreciating assets.
Well, if you look at my portfolio and
of many faces.
bro, for sure, cars, a yacht, a bunch of parties, like partying.
But COVID, Logan.
Well,
Go
I'd say
ahead.
when I'd win it.
I think I could do it.
Just he said how, not could you.
We buying the Bugattis, we buying the Lambottis, we buying the Ferraris, we buying the house for the hotties, we buying the boat, we buying another boat, we buying more Apple Watches, we getting the boys a Rolex, we getting the mama car, we getting the dad a car, we paying off the parents' house, we paying off the boys' bills, and I still got $90 million left. Yeah, I think I could do it.
You up?
I would just buy a ridiculously stupid house in like multiple states. I'd buy a whole bunch of stuff I'd buy like, but the houses like everyone else could have a key to, obviously. And we're talking about materialistic shit, so everyone that's gonna be like, oh, why would you give it to charity? Like that stuff's smart. Okay, this is just dumb ways to get away to spend $100 million. Cars, houses, all that stupid shit.
An island.
Buy a boat. I was just gonna say an island. Buy a boat and then obviously have it at the island or whatever. Yeah, that would be gone quick.
Yep.
If you had 24 hours to spend $100 million, you think you could do it?
Houses.
Oh my God.
It'd just be houses.
Think you could?
I mean, we almost have that in the business account.
Yeah, right.
We're sitting on a couch in Logan's parents' house.
in Minerva, Ohio. All right, here we
With
go.
a makeshift green screen my grandma sewed together.
And we're using your friend's computer for all of this.
And Mike.
Oh, wow, here we go. And Mike, you had to throw that in there. Thanks,
Millions of otherwise rational people are jumping in office pools, standing in line, and it seems just about everyone's imagination is running wild about what you could do with all that cash.
For most, millions of dollars would set them up for life. And then there are these people. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 dumbest lottery winners. For this list, we're basing our picks on how much money they lost and how ridiculous the reason for losing it was. Number 10. Christina Goodenow. Christina Elizabeth Goodenow's name was certainly indicative of her situation, at first anyway. All seemed good now as Christina won $1 million on a $1 million jackpot ticket, which is something most of us would deem impossible.
$1 million isn't exactly a lot of money these days.
But wait, this is the dumbest lottery winners list. So, what went wrong? The woman bought the ticket using the credit card of her boyfriend's late mother, which, is a crime.
It's not illegal, it's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal too.
Investigators discovered this faux pas, charged her with identity theft and fraud, took away the money, and threw her in jail. Talk about a major buzzkill.
So what would you do with $1 million? You want $1 million? How are you spending it? Getting rid of it?
Masturbate on an airplane.
Buy an airplane, so that's my private property and legal to masturbate on an airplane.
For $1 million, you can buy an airplane.
Yeah, just one of those little ones.
$1 million? How am I spending it?
Mm-hmm. Have to spend it. Have to.
Have to. How long do I have?
48 years. A week.
I have a week.
A day. 30 minutes.
Number 9,
30
Jose
minutes?
Antonio
Buy some
Cueto.
profit.
Had he known, he could have probably gone by himself and cashed it,
Did
but
you
he
say
didn't.
Tupac?
Jose Antonio Cueto.
Had he known, he could have probably gone by himself and cashed it, but he didn't.
Actually, no, this is a buzzkill and a whole roller coaster of emotions. Tony Quauhtok was an illegal immigrant living in Georgia when he won $750,000 playing the lottery. Because he wasn't a citizen, he had his boss, Eric Cervantes, cash the ticket for him. However, the Fort Valley business owner kept the money for himself, claiming that he gave Quauhtok money to buy the ticket for him. But the story doesn't end there. After suing Cervantes for the money and winning back the $750,000, Quauhtok now faces deportation after his undocumented status was discovered. Sounds like there might be a lesson here. Maybe you shouldn't play the lottery if you're living in a country illegally?
I've made a huge mistake.
Number 8, Sharon Tirabassi. After having to live on welfare and then going on to later win $10 million, it's understandable that you'd want to splurge a little.
Shut up and take my money!
However, a woman from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, learned the hard way that there's a big difference between splurging and spending all your money till you have almost nothing left. After the Lotto Super 7 winner spent her truckload of cash on a mansion, fancy cars, designer clothes, flamboyant vacations, and, typical rich people stuff, her stash was all too soon depleted. 9 years later, and she is now working part-time to support her family and living in a rented home with her 6 children.
Man, it's all gone. All gone.
Number 7, Willie Hurt.
I bet that
We
hurt.
assume he's been hurting after losing all his money.
Did it really hurt?
Okay, we're done with the puns. In 1989, William Hurt won $3.1 million in the Michigan lottery. But rather than use that money to advance his life, he did the complete opposite.
Pull up the anchor 'cause we're leaving dry land. Get below deck with a tick in your hand.
Within 2 years, he was in the middle of a divorce, which took a chunk of his money, lost custody of his children, and had already thrown away most of his fortune on drugs, specifically crack cocaine. Oh, and he was also charged with the murder of his girlfriend. This one's actually kind of sad now that we think about it. Number 6,
One way to do
Ibi
it.
Roncaioli. While these stories all have unhappy endings, Ibi Roncaioli's is particularly sad. After winning $5 million, Ibi spent the money lavishly, buying her son a house, going on gambling sprees, and giving another son from a previous marriage around $2 million. After carelessly spending their winnings and hiding this, as well as a few other personal problems, Ibi's husband Joseph was found guilty of her murder via the injection of a lethal concoction of painkillers. Much to the chagrin of Ibi's family, he was sentenced to only 7 years in prison in 2008. Number 5, Denise Rossi. When we see selfish behavior like this, it can be hard not to laugh at the misfortune that follows. After winning $1.3 million in the California lottery, Denise Rossi filed for divorce from her husband Thomas Rossi, without telling him about it 11 days later. This obviously left him understandably perplexed. Her lack of disclosure was an effort to keep all the cash to herself. But after he found out, Thomas sued Denise. Because she had violated state asset disclosure laws, he was awarded every cent of her $1.3 million jackpot, which left Denise poor and single. What can we say? Karma's a bitch. Americo Lopez. Workplace lottery pools are a common thing, but they can certainly cause some unnecessary drama. A group of construction workers from New Jersey pooled their money, and one of them, Americo Lopez, had the job of buying the tickets. After they won a hefty $38.5 million in 2009, he cashed in the ticket and kept the winnings for himself.
Why? Why do you need to do that? If it's only that many people, because we had this talk the other day. We were talking because it was at like 100 million. We were like, fuck it. Then we were like, okay, after all this and that, we'd each get 20 million, blah, blah, blah. But could you imagine if,
we talked about it.
Yeah,
one person just took it.
Yeah.
It'd be lawsuits.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy, though.
And promptly quit his job. After a coworker did some investigating and found out the truth, though, Lopez was taken to court and ordered to split the money between himself and his 5 ex-coworkers. Though with such greedy behavior, he's lucky he didn't lose it all.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Number 3, Michael Carroll.
Mike is rich, but maybe one day he'll become smart and rich.
Young Englishman Michael Carroll hit the jackpot at only 19 years old, winning nearly 10 million pounds, which is roughly 14 million US dollars. After claiming that he wouldn't spend the money lavishly, he spent the money very lavishly. He bought a 50,000-pound BMW, a Mercedes, a lakeside mansion, steel balls, which he used to catapult into shop windows, and lots of cocaine and hookers. After eventually running out of money due to his excessive partying, the now divorced lotto lout has since taken a job in a biscuit factory.
Michael Carroll says he is happy to collect his weekly salary of £204, about $300 US dollars, earned packing and stacking shortbread and cookies on an assembly line.
Number 2, Andrew Jackson Jack Whitaker Jr. In 2002, Jack Whitaker won an astronomical $314.9 million, which was, at the time...
How do you win so much money and then it's gone?
We're gonna find out.
You're right. But holy shit.
But we're here for
like,
it.
how?
It's the largest jackpot ever won by a single person in American history. Whitaker chose the cash option of $113 million, but it all went bye-bye. While Whitaker donated large sums of money to charity, he also became careless. He lost $545,000 in cash after thieves broke into his car. His granddaughter's boyfriend was found dead of a drug overdose in his house, and his granddaughter herself was also found dead a year later. And he was sued by a casino for $1.5 million in bounced checks. Finally, in September 2006, it was alleged that Whitaker claimed thieves took the rest of his fortune by cashing in multiple checks.
Money is not what makes people happy. You know, family is what is dear.
Number 1. Evelyn Adams. Most people would be extremely lucky to win the lottery even once.
Like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
New Jersey resident Evelyn Adams struck gold not once, but twice, and in consecutive years, winning a combined $5.4 million. However, she squandered this luck, as she was a compulsive gambler and lost most of her money in Atlantic City. She also shared her funds with family and friends, and so before she knew it, she was flat broke and living in a trailer park. Even though she was being generous, you just can't win the lottery twice and blow it. That's just spitting in the face.
That's it. That's all 10.
So
That's my wallet. I know there's nothing in there.
the deduction is you either do something illegal or you blow it on drugs.
How do you? But like Joe said, how do you win 315 mil? And obviously he said, okay, you got robbed, this and that, but like, I mean, okay, so would you? Okay, let's say you won 100 mil, no tax, blah 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 blah. So we can do easy math here, right, Joe? Would you rather get paid the 100 million up front, or what you're saying, no? Or would you rather get paid? It's yearly. So would you rather get paid the $10 million every year
for 10 years?
Yeah, but okay. Technically, they take away money. There's actually no tax if you do it that way. So if you took the cash option, it'd be like 72 mil, or you get paid 10 million every year for 10 years.
I'm getting it up front. My happy ass don't know if I'm gonna die tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, that's that gets me.
Well, okay. What if you can leave it to people?
No, I'll take it over 10 years.
I don't know anybody.
You would?
Yeah.
It's fair.
I get to June and I'm out of money. I'm like, shit. Why don't do this next year? I would do the opposite next year.
No, I just take it and spend it on drugs. And
I put like 30%. Realistically, I'd probably put 30% away every year.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay. You wouldn't.
Trying to talk all big in front of all of our subscribers.
All 6 and all 6 all of our accounts.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, that's it. You got anything to end us with here?
What would you?
Working on the railroad.
I'd get the 100 mil up front, which would be like 70.
If for God knows reason you're watching this video, what would you do with 100 million?
Thank you for watching this video.